Hello, muchos females. This is Anime Epics, and today I'm gonna be watching and debunking and maybe giving my thoughts on what these guys are talking about Sparkles versus Yujiro Hamba. And I have to be honest, I thought this match was supposed to be a meme, but if they're making this so serious about Yujiro Hama and Sparkles being a death battle, then there's a possibility that the rest of the martial arts characters like Kengan and Baki or Toph can be in death battle. But at the moment when I was watching this cast, I noticed some things. So I'm gonna be there and kind of give you my idea. Okay?
About what you're dealing with Baki. Zero. Baki is weird. Put that on screen. Zero Baki is weird. Put that on screen. In the series, Baki got poisoned by somebody and was dying, becoming malnourished, and just coughing up blood everywhere. And he just looked like a corpse. It was thanks to a big hearty meal and sugar water in a bucket spun by Retsu Kaido, a man who has studied over 4,000 years of Chinese martial arts, to stir it with his hand. And once he drank it, it was thanks to that, along with cellular rage. His cells wanted revenge on the person who gave him the poison, and then they swore revenge and gave him the power to ultimately go back to peak physical condition like it never happened. This is Baki. This is Baki. And unusual tales from his son.
Cells got angry?
His
What?
cells got angry.
Okay, that is false, and I'm not gonna blame him for that because when I first saw that scene, I first thought it was the tears of Baki's girlfriend doing that, but I'm gonna explain it right now. Okay? Okay. For context, Baki has been poisoned by Unagi, the negative poison user, and after being poisoned, Retsu knows the art, the fighting style of what Unagi is using. So they went to the Chinese tournament to hopefully find a poison user with the positive martial arts, a positive poison. And luckily enough, they did in the tournament, and Baki fight him. So mixing with the poison with the negative and the positive, basically saying kill poison with poison, even though it was dangerous at first, things because of the chemical reactions of Baki poisons fighting and also because of the harmicals and the chemicals in his head, he was healed for that. And as for the bucketing and the food and the water, have you noticed anything? Baki, during his poisoning and his being poisoned and almost dying, was losing a lot of nutrients and weight. So this bucket water was a way for him to get back his normal body weight and nutrients back to his body. So yeah, this topic is false, and the only character that I really see its cells coming back to life and uh, wanting revenge has to be Jack Hama, who has been knocked out of conscious, has been defeated multiple times, and no, not multiple times, like by Pickle, conscious one time, and continue wanting to fight. Baki cannot do that, as far as I know.
The scanlations,
Wait.
it's a little fun.
This is a finished
real.
page?
This is real. He didn't want it, he went, they're just talking about shit we already
Okay.
know.
So
But
for
yeah,
audio listeners, what we're looking at is a manga page with large word bubbles. What is on them? What's going on? It's just like one word.
So yeah, he's meeting up this character that he has previous, beef with, this character has beef with him. This is Yujiro in the foreground. And instead of boring us with all of this, character motivation shit, fucking lame, right? It's gonna be recap.
Just recap.
Amazing. Why?
But he got lazy.
Yeah, he needs talking
letter?
to from Spartacus. I remember reading this.
Okay, this one, to be completely honest, I don't know how to answer this question because as far as I know, as far as the versions that I read, they were pretty much okay. They were very complete, to be honest. I mean, maybe because I haven't read it for a while, it wasn't there, but some of the stuff was okay and accurate. But if I remember right, I remember one time in the Baki community that many of the fans were complaining about the translations, which version this and which version that, the translators, how they talk. Because as far as I remember, there's like two translators for the Baki community, and each one saying like, no, this one's horrible, this one's horrible, and yeah, it's a mess. I don't know how to answer that, and probably give them advice. So that's all I can say. It's pretty much a big mess in the Baki community. But for me, as far as I read, it's not much. I've been reading it okay. So yeah.
Yeah, Okay, let's go. Let's go. 2, speed scaling. The whole thing with Baki and speed is that it's all over the place. It's all over the place. Definitely. The fastest I can get is the hitless blow, which is Mach 78, and there are certain characters from Ken and Ashura which has crossover Baki on 2 occasions. With those two things, yeah, Mach 89.7. Musashi, there's a speak with Musashi all about him dashing towards Yujiro, and within 0.000 seconds, those speeds can get up to high Mach 244, and the highest with his demon bag and auto multipliers, he can get up almost to 100 Mach 1000. There's other true statements such as Baki having a light speed jab, which the narrator doubles down and says that he is in fact running a light speed jab. While there's some contextual elements to this, Yujiro states a chapter later that it's mostly like it's a feint to give the same type of force with what you're trying to do, and you have your more ridiculous things like the narrator saying that Baki has faster conscious speed, even though this is really from the perspective of Pickle himself at the very bottom there. Now let's go to 3, hyper expansion.
Okay, I have to give it to this one. I have to agree and say that yes, the Baki speed scales is all over the place because at best, Baki characters are bullet speed, but based on because the average Baki fan doesn't know how to use the math. Even I don't know how fast Baki is because even using the Kakarot's dash, I don't even know how fast theoretically Baki could be. So I guess the best source of information, which sometimes cannot be reliable, has to be the narrator. But the problem is sometimes the narrator from Baki either says things to make it sound poetic, and sometimes it says things to show how these moments are happening, how fast it's happening, or what's really happening. So I can say it's somewhat of a double-edged sword because sometimes you cannot always believe the narrator in Baki, but at the same time you should use the narrator for Baki. But that's the problem. It's really depending how you want to scale these characters. Either you do the math yourself or you use the narrator to make it more easier for yourself. Or have a combination of both. So yeah, I don't know how to say about this one. So yeah, Baki's scaling is all over the place until you do your math yourself or you take the word of the narrator of Baki or the writer of Baki to the heart as truth. Okay?
Hyper expansion is very fun. So that's right.
Look, Twitch is going through some crazy apocalypse for when people say crazy shit. Let's not do the same thing.
I'm sorry. So you have General Stridham here is saying in translations that I've run through myself, Google Translate, ChatGPT, and Luis's girlfriend, who I do not know, but I trust her with my life when she said she would. And so she said that Stridham is stating that Yujiro is accelerating speed is comparable, basically comparable to the expansion of the universe expanding at the speed of light. If we're taking certain things into account and giving the lowest estimates of Yujiro's power, we reach 3.15 gigatons of TNT, which is large mountain level. And with this stat multipliers, which is demon back and death concentration, which is a technique that activates when you're in a near-death situation. So let's say if Forticus gets Yujiro into a near-death situation, you'll have to deal with this level of power. It will reach up to 12.6 gigatons of TNT, which is iron level. And this is being very generous. I gave the minimalist amount of effort into this, and this is taking Stridham at his word, who knows Yujiro. He knows how powerful he is. He's the one who's made statements of the U.S. military not wanting to mess with this man. Even Barack Obama said that he had the power comparable to the nuclear warhead when it comes to his fighting.
Sorry, what? Who?
Yeah, Barack Obama in Baki. The U.S.
What the fuck? What the fuck? To be completely fucking honest, I don't know where he got that information from. He did show me an image, but it's hard to believe that it came from that. Like, it seems to be more like a satirical description of how someone would describe something. Like, you're saying that Yujiro is like the universe expanding or like the speed of expanding. Like, don't get me wrong, Yujiro is getting stronger every year, and in the latest chapters, we always see Yujiro always do something crazy. But I guess the problem I have about this is how he explains this type of how Yujiro gets stronger, because the way he says, he's saying like Yujiro's strong as the universe, which made me thought like no, which I was about to say like no, you stupid idiot, Yujiro's not the strong, it's not as strong as the universe. I bet he's strong as world or country, you know.
That Baki, it shows that Yujiro.
3.5?
Yeah, because I had some extra bits. Yujiro in Son of Ogre is, you see him do his iconic stance, and then later in Baki Dao, which happens some estimates later, you see that he's visibly stronger, showing that his accelerated development rate is not a lie. He is constantly expanding in his power and speed. You can see his muscles are just way more defined and bigger, and and the main things that I believe gives Yujiro the victory is the fact that while Sportacus is very athletic, very strong.
Actually, I don't want to ruin his, Zone or Thunder, but The main reason why Yujiro Hama looks like that is because over the years, Itagaki, the artist and writer of Baki series, doesn't become very consistent. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but the main reason why Yujiro Hama looks like this is because of change of art style of over the years. Because back in the day when it started, it looked like this. And then later on, it started to become a little bit more tall. Baki characters start to have long legs, more defined bodies, and somewhat of a more saturated muscles. Then over the years, Baki characters start to become not become, but feel like they're shorter and having bigger body parts, like bigger fists and bigger feet. And then in Baki Do 2018, Baki characters have become very thick, that they almost look fat compared to their previous art style where Baki characters used to be very skinny and ripped. But now in this Baki right now, they look very thick and a little bit buffer than usual, having more thicker arms, thicker fists, and thicker faces than their previous realistic faces. Okay?
Because I'm very impressed by this panel here. Specifically because he is wearing those incredibly loose, like, athletic martial arts pants.
And his ass
And yet
is still
his
nice and
ass is so
juicy.
fucking big. It is so like specifically toned in these very loose pants.
He's
What
thick
the
with
fuck
bullshit.
is going on?
Yes, Baki characters have most tone ass out there in anime. Yeah, you better enjoy while it lasted.
Just wanted to talk about it. So I was very,
Minor, can I do a minor rebuttal of my own? So you want ridiculous? I was trying to say this earlier, but that's why I didn't bring up speed. The
we're
hyper
literally at the end of the show. Yeah, you gotta say it now.
the hyper acceleration thing, I didn't bring up speed. He would be, I shit you not, if you take the lowest estimate, let's say Mach 1, every other, like the expansion of Mach 1, Yujiro would actually be over several hundred times the speed of light in base with that. And taking the highball estimate thanks to Pickle, who survived the meteor that killed the dinosaurs, you get up there into country to multi-continental, and due to the fact that the archaeologists that found him said he was definitely close to the impact point of the meteor itself, but Pickle didn't care, he wanted that food and started to fight the T-Rex. So if we get ridiculous, we can get up there as well.
I would rebuttal that.
To be honest, this kind of surprised me by the topic because I never really thought about it, or anybody in the Baki community really thought about it. Because in some way, we never really consider, resilience to be such a big fit in the Baki community because that title belongs to Hayayama. But yeah, like, I can imagine how strong Pickle can be, but I don't know how that can really help Yuichiro's situation. I mean, you can say, yeah, I can totally agree that Yujiro Hama is stronger than Pickle as far as we've seen so far. But the thing is, we never really saw Yujiro Hama fight against Pickle. And the only time that we did saw Yujiro Hama and Pickle confront each other is by pushing their knuckles together. So yeah, I don't really think about it, but it will be an interesting matchup for a Pickle versus somebody else match. But I don't know how that brings into Yujiro Hama's feats. I mean, you can say the one thing that I can surely say about is the earthquake punch, and fighting against Kakukayu that can absorb these punches and return it back. You can say that Yujiro Hama is taking earthquake punches against himself, and that makes sense. So yeah, I can totally. I guess I don't know how to say, but that's one way to say it.
Everyone in Baki has gained scars in their fights. Every single one. Biscuit, Oliva, Pickle, Baki, every single fighter except Yujiro. Yujiro is the only character in Baki who has been in consistent fights and has never suffered so much damage that it left a scar on his body.
has he ever lost?
No, he has never lost a fight. The only time he ever lost was against a battle ideal for his son, who made him believe that he was actually making a meal and thought he lost that meal. It showed that he had humility in a way. He deemed him the strongest creature on the planet, but he definitely was dominating the fight. Anyone who sees that fight knows he was dominating the fight.
Then
And what's stopping Yujiro from making imaginary chocolate and throwing it out?
so this is the thing. I've been seeing this in the chat. I wanted to bring it up. A lot of people are talking about
Well, yeah, but Yujiro Hama never really lost against a fight. But has been a meme in the Baki community where, yeah, Yujiro kind of lost in a fight one time. But that one time is mostly a fast way to get rid of him. Because in some way, all of the Baki community has agreed that the main reason why Yujiro Hama was defeated so easily during this one scene right here is because Itagaki needed to find a way to get rid of him. Because if he didn't get rid of him, the plot of the Baki tournament would be ruined. And yes, I do have to agree on, yes, even though Yujiro never lost, let's just remove the whole trapping Yujiro thing and say that when his fight, even though Yujiro Hama won against the fight, yeah, Baki still win against him mentally, because in some way, as far as I see, Baki always, even though he doesn't win some fights, he still wins the fight in mentality. Even this example has to be against Pickle, against Oliver Biscuit, and even Yujiro Hama. Even in newer chapters, especially in Baki versus Musashi. So yeah, I have to agree in this. If we're not talking about the whole poison darts.
And that's a real thing. In Baki, imagination is a real thing. Baki has something called a demon brain that allows him to imagine a giant, megafoot tall praying mantis and fight it. And you can see in the anime, when he's grappling it, he's off the ground and he stays off the ground. It is physically there. And people seen souls before. Yujiro Hama, which is Yujiro's dad, appear as a ghost. So this is 100% factual. There is no argument against it. Ghosts and imagination are a thing, and Nemo Musashi can slash people with imaginary swords. And they actually hurt them, and people react to them like, oh my god.
Hang on, bring us back just a little bit. So he can just make food
With his
out of
imagination.
nothing. Is it real food that's
It's
possible
real.
to imagination? Like it can be consumed and it
Like
functions
the
like
fact
food would?
It's the fact that Baki can make an actual invisible praying mantis and be physically off the ground when grappling. It shows that the imaginations do have mass and would probably also and have the same force. When he gets hit, he gets knocked into a wall with he even imagined his father, and it knocked him into a wall so hard it caused an earthquake. Imagination in Baki is 100% actually a physical thing and has the same properties.
Wait, but he's obsessed with apple fritters, but he's also
Well, yes, I do have to agree. I kind of forgot about it since it wasn't brought out in the latest chapters, but yeah, Baki imagination is a real thing. So yeah, insert SpongeBob imagination, because if you have to, yes, Baki does have a superpower. Baki characters do have a superpower, imagination, but it's not just Baki and his demon brain. Other characters can really use imagination. Two examples has to be Yujiro Hama and Kasume. And those are the only two examples. And I do have to agree, it's very hard to really use imagination as a source of, I don't know, attack. Because the only way I really saw imagination be used in some of these situations is as a form of intimidation and as a form of training. I never really see Baki characters use imagination to, okay, I take it back. I just remember, Musashi Miyamoto can give you the illusion of you being slashed in half. So in some way, yeah, you can use imagination as a form of attack, but I don't really see Yujiro Hama or Baki using them as attacks. Besides, like I said, Musashi Miyamoto, who can use imaginary swords to paralyze you, to give you the effect and the illusion of you being cut in half. That I can see. Okay, I apologize. I sometimes forget this stuff. Okay, forgive me. Okay, I seen the whole video, and I must say it's a very fun video, because at first I seen both of them argue about Sparkless and Yujiro Hama seem to be very compatible, seem to be almost even. I wouldn't say almost, I don't know why I said almost, but I would say even at the moment, because the things that Sparkless does is insane, but at the same time, as a Baki hardcore fan, Yujiro Hama does more insane stuff over the time. And I do have to agree with some things, like, how is Sparkless really gonna fight Yujiro Hama? Because as far as I know, Sparkless is not a fighter. He's an athlete. Well, Yujiro Hama is not an athlete. He's a fighter. And if they ever really make a Baki matchup like this, like if they ever make this, I'm really hoping to see Yujiro Hama versus Sparkless. But at the same time, I'll probably talk about it later in the future and talk about my favorite matches or matches I've seen for Yujiro Hama. So yeah, thank you for having the time to listen about me and listening to my comments. And please comment down below which Baki character matchup do you want to see in Death Battle. I'll try to review them in the future videos. And yeah, like and subscribe, because yeah, it's really entertainment, you know.